The dream that once glittered in scarlet red is slowly turning into a nightmare at Ferrari. Two of the greatest drivers in modern Formula One, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, find themselves trapped in a storm of disappointment, confusion, and fading hope. This was supposed to be the comeback story, the revival of Ferrari's golden era, but instead, it's becoming a tragic tale of broken promises, fading patience, and unfulfilled potential. When Hamilton signed with Ferrari, the world held its breath. After years of domination at Mercedes, his move to Maranello was seen as the ultimate chapter, a quest for his 8th world title, one that would make him the most successful driver in the history of Formula One. And for Charles Leclerc, Ferrari was never just a team, it was destiny. The Monegasque driver grew up idolizing the red car, dreaming of the day he'd carry the legacy of Schumacher and ascend to the throne of the prancing horse. But destiny has a cruel sense of humor. 6 years into his Ferrari career, Leclerc's faith is fading. Each season starts with the same hope, the same promise. This year will be different, only to end with heartbreak and frustration. And now, with Hamilton beside him, those dreams have collided with the harsh reality that Ferrari is no longer the powerhouse it once was. On the surface, Ferrari still looks majestic. The red livery gleams under the sun, the Tifosi wave their flags in passion, and the legacy of greatness still echoes through the paddock. But beneath that surface lies a team in disarray. The SF25, the car built to bring Ferrari back to glory, has instead exposed their weaknesses. It's unpredictable, inconsistent, and plagued with technical flaws that no amount of talent can hide. Brake overheating, poor tire management, and unstable aerodynamics have turned every race weekend into an emotional roller coaster. Even on days when the car shows promise in practice, that pace disappears when it matters most. It's as if Ferrari is forever almost there, close enough to taste victory, but never close enough to hold it. For Lewis Hamilton, this season has been one of the hardest of his career. The 7-time world champion came to Ferrari with a fire in his eyes and a point to prove that his greatness wasn't tied to Mercedes, that he could bring glory back to Italy. But week after week, that fire has dimmed. From his first laps in the SF25, Hamilton knew something was wrong. The balance felt off, the grip was unpredictable, and the communication from the pit wall left him more confused than confident. At Singapore, his frustration reached a breaking point. A penalty, an 8th-place finish, and a car that refused to respond to his touch. It all came crashing down. On the radio, his voice cracked with disappointment. He said he felt pain for the team, but the words that followed cut deep. The car just isn't competitive enough. For a man who once fought for championships every weekend, being reduced to fighting for minor points feels like a slow descent from greatness. And at 40 years old, Hamilton knows he's running out of time. For Charles Leclerc, the frustration runs even deeper. He's been loyal to Ferrari since 2019, carrying the weight of a nation's expectations and the burden of belief. He has outqualified champions, fought against impossible odds, and kept faith in a project that constantly lets him down. But even patience has limits. Behind closed doors, his management team has started exploring the future. Talks with Aston Martin, McLaren, and Mercedes have quietly taken place. Meetings in Capri, handshakes in the paddock, and whispers in the corridors of Formula One hint that Leclerc's loyalty is starting to fade. And who can blame him? How many times can a driver hear, "Next year will be our year," before realizing that next year never comes? After yet another disappointing race in Monza, Leclerc's post-race words were simple but telling. Very disappointed. 2 words, heavy with years of frustration. To understand Ferrari's current chaos, you have to go back to a time when the red car ruled Formula One with an iron grip, When Michael Schumacher and Jean Todt led an empire built on precision, discipline, and innovation. But those days are gone. Since then, Ferrari has cycled through team principles, engineers, and strategies like a deck of cards. Each new era promises revival, but ends with excuses. Fred Vasseur, the current team principal, continues to insist that progress is being made. But the numbers tell a different story. Ferrari's 2025 season was supposed to be their strongest in years. Instead, it's been defined by strategy failures, communication breakdowns, and technical setbacks. Simple pit calls have turned into public embarrassments. Drivers have argued over radio messages, unsure whether to attack or defend. And moments that should have defined races have instead exposed just how far Ferrari has fallen. Even the Tifosi, the most passionate fans in the world, are starting to lose faith. Their cheers have turned to sighs. Their pride has turned to pity. Act 6. The emotional toll Formula One is as much a mental game as it is mechanical. For Leclerc and Hamilton, the toll is showing. Behind their professional smiles lies exhaustion, a kind of emotional fatigue that comes from giving everything and receiving nothing in return. Hamilton, once the symbol of dominance and confidence, now looks like a man questioning his own legacy. Leclerc, once the bright-eyed prodigy, now speaks with the weariness of a veteran. Every race feels like déjà vu, brief flashes of brilliance, followed by heartbreak. Every pit radio feels heavier, every podium further away. The team promises upgrades, but the reality remains unchanged. As 2026 approaches, the stakes couldn't be higher. New technical regulations could shake up the entire grid, an opportunity for rebirth, or another disaster waiting to happen. Ferrari's history with regulation changes is far from reassuring. They've stumbled before, and neither Hamilton nor Leclerc can afford another gamble. Leclerc's management is keeping every door open. Aston Martin could offer him the stability Ferrari can't. McLaren could give him the platform to fight at the front. And Mercedes, where Toto Wolff still admires his raw speed, could bring him full circle. As for Hamilton, the decision is even heavier. Retirement whispers grow louder. He didn't come to Ferrari to finish 8th or 9th. He came to win. If 2026 doesn't deliver, this could very well be Hamilton's final season in Formula One. Inside Maranello, the pressure is unbearable. The walls that once echoed with victory now ring with silence and second-guessing. Ferrari knows they are running out of time, not just to win, but to keep their stars. If both Leclerc and Hamilton decide to leave, Ferrari risks more than just losing races. They risk losing their soul. The team's technical staff continues to work around the clock, desperate to find the breakthrough that has eluded them for years. But innovation without direction is chaos, and chaos is exactly what Ferrari has become. Vasseur's public optimism is starting to sound hollow, and even within the paddock, rivals have begun to question if Ferrari truly understands what's gone wrong. For Hamilton, legacy is everything. For Leclerc, it's still being written. And for Ferrari, it's fading. The red car that once struck fear into its rivals now inspires sympathy. The same team that built legends like Schumacher. And Lauda now struggles to make the top 5. It's a heartbreaking contrast. Two of the sport's finest talents, wasting their prime years in a machine that simply can't keep up. Formula One is brutal that way. Talent isn't enough. Dreams aren't enough. You need machinery, precision, and belief. And right now, Ferrari has none of those. As the 2025 season winds down, one truth becomes clear. Ferrari's biggest battle isn't against Red Bull or McLaren. It's against itself. If history has taught us anything, it's that even giants can fall. And unless Ferrari finds a way to rise again, this era will be remembered not for its glory, but for its waste. The Tifosi still believe. Somewhere deep down, so do Leclerc and Hamilton. But belief without results is just hope. And hope fades fast in Formula One. As the lights go out on another disappointing season, the red cars roll back into the garage under a cloud of silence. Two drivers sit in the aftermath of another missed opportunity. One, staring into the distance, wondering if this dream was ever meant to be. The other, remembering what it felt like to win, and wondering if he'll ever feel it again. In the heart of Maranello, the legend of Ferrari still burns, but it's flickering. And unless something changes soon, the fire might go out for good. Because in Formula One, history remembers winners, not excuses. And right now, Ferrari is running out of both.